Welcome back. The latest installment in the wildly popular Mission Impossible series is about to hit theaters, and Jim Ferguson was hard at work in Washington, D.C. talking to all of the stars. He made it back just in time with a first look of the film with a couple of the actors. Jim, nice to have you.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Of course, two of the actors you're talking about, Simon Pegg, a well-known filmmaker as well as an actor. He's appeared in 3 of the other Mission movies, and he's adds a touch of humor. He's really good. And of course, Henry Cavill, the Man of Steel, the Superman, the first British actor to play Superman. And then he was in Batman and Superman. He reprised the role.
Well, and I like in this interview, you make a mention of Man of Steel, but it goes right over his head.
Yeah,
maybe people will catch what we're talking about.
He just didn't get it, you know. It's interesting, his role in this film. He wears 2 hats. I don't want to give it away.
Don't give it away.
No.
Let's hear what they have to say about the film.
Okay, let's go to Simon and Henry.
Would you both agree that this version, the 6th version, is kind of a culmination of all the other Mission Impossible films?
Yeah, I think it is in some respects, and I think every single individual movie can operate by itself, and as does this one. It is very much the sort of, you know, it's Ethan kind of looking back across his career and wondering if it's all been worth it. And there are elements of all of the films, all 5 previous films in this film, that kind of come back in some way to assist Ethan and to demonstrate that fact that it's almost like a sort of a career retrospective for Ethan.
I like the idea that even they go back to the old TV series with Peter Graves with the masks and everything.
Oh yeah, that's always been a big part of it.
Those in there. You're too young to remember that.
Maybe. You're only 16. Yes. 31.
Of course, everybody today has been asking you about the stunt work, and I can't do this 3 or 4 minutes without asking you that question, but you had to be athletic, I'm sure, Henry, to pull off some of the things you and Tom did.
Absolutely. It's a necessity to be in physically good shape to do stunts, but more than that, it's required just to get through the days. When you're shooting for 12 months, so we've got 141 days over 12 months, which we did, the level of fatigue which is upon the body and the mind is pretty heavy, and so being fit makes it far more bearable.
Somebody said you have to almost be a man of steel to do some of it.
Almost. I mean, I'd say Tom's the Man of Steel.
It's like that film you were in.
Yeah.
Tom said he spent a whole year preparing for the stunts, just working on the stunts.
Yeah.
And Henry, you know, I was just, as the audience are on pins and needles, that there's so much action in those 2 hours, you're like, wow, you know. But yet, would you agree this guy's character, Benji, does bring in a little bit of humor?
No.
No.
I'm not a funny character.
This is very, very deadpan. Very flat. Ben. In fact, there's in this movie, there's an awful lot in the way of emotional connections and performances especially, and there's a psychological component as well. And Simon does all that really, really well. He's a fantastic dramatic actor, as well as a little bit funny every now and again.
I think the thing that brings the laugh sometimes in this story is when we're human. Do you know when people act human? Yeah. So if you see Walker being human or Benji's human a lot, but and Ethan, any moments when they're, I mean, we all have moments when we just suddenly break the secret agent character and say something that's just honest and real, and Benji does that a lot, but we all do it. And Henry and Tom both have some very funny moments when they kind of come out of their, you know, the sort of the
heaviness,
and they just say what they mean, and that gives great.
Well, the director, Christopher McHugh, said that what makes this one special, the 6th one, is that they're just talking about how their characters are human.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked about it, too. And I don't want to give my review away, which is going to be on Friday, but yeah, I liked it. Maybe this is their best one.
But I think that's what makes these films so addictive, is the fact that the characters don't take themselves too seriously as spies or as villains or whatever it is. They are human at the end of the day, so they exhibit that, which is nice. And this upcoming Friday, we're going to have a couple of the stars.
Boy, is that going to be
just
fun.
Any stars.
The red carpet. It wasn't fun doing it, I'll tell you that. But I had a good time with Tom Cruise. We're going to talk to Michelle Monaghan, who's back again. Yeah, it was a lot of fun in Washington, D.C. at the Smithsonian.
Yes, it was. A couple more stars next week, too. Jim,
Yeah,
Thank you.
We'll have my namesake, Rebecca
That's
Ferguson,
right.
next week.
And for even more celebrity interviews, visit our website, TucsonMorningBlend.com. Search for Hollywood Happenings. And thanks again, Jim.